Hey guys, a little bit of everything here. I just wanted to talk today about some more of the jail story, but this one's gonna be a crazy story. It's gonna involve a fight that happened while I was in jail over the silliest thing ever. So last time we talked about what happened, why I went to jail and prison and all that. But today, there's this guy I knew. His name was Bud. That's what we called him. He was a cool guy. He was always drawing little skeletons. You know how like you make the three little lines and then you turn it into an S. He would do that with skeletons. So that's his thing. He'd always be doing skeletons. There was this other guy. For the video purpose, we'll call him Clyde. I'm not gonna give his real name out, but so he just got into our cell. It was a 4-man cell. It was me, my buddy Jay, Bud, and Clyde. So while we were in there, it was just like any other night. We're all hanging out, and this was the night before the incident happened. But we were all hanging out, and Clark was a bit weird. He was coming off of heroin, so he wasn't doing well, withdrawing. I mean, if you've ever used before, then you know what that's like. It's no fun. And then Bud was he's a weirdo. Honestly, I'll be completely truthful. He's a weirdo. He was like, it's just really strange. He's such a weird guy. And then Jay was pretty cool. I've known him since me and him were kids. But we both got locked up together, and then we both went to prison together, and we were actually in the same prison, different dorms, same prison. But with the whole incident, I'm not sure why it occurred, but so I'm laying there, and I used to I do sometimes still, but I had a Bible underneath my bed, or underneath my mat. So you have like a mat, and then you have your blankets and whatever. Then they'll give you a pillow. I don't know why. No pillows, because you could probably smother somebody with it, I guess. But so while I'm in there, I'm gonna take a drink of water real fast. There we go. So while I was in there, I was just getting ready for bed, and I got my Bible on my pillow. I'm reading my Bible, right? Everything's good. So the guards come through, and they do the thing in the movies where they take the flashlight and they rub it on the cage, so it makes like a clinking sound. It's really annoying, but then they flash lights at you like this to make sure you're in your bed and all that stuff. And yeah, I guess it's like protocol, head check, whatever. So while I'm laying there, Clark and Bud ended up they were just talking or whatever, and then there was like a little argument over something real small. Really, really small. I'm trying to think of what it was about. I think it was about like leaving shampoo in the shower or something like that, because it was a really tiny room. We had one toilet on this side, and then we had our bunk up here, right there, one right here, one up there, and then we also had our shower right next to the sink. So here's the bunk, and then look forward to the right, and that was where our shower was. Real small shower. It was so small to the point where there was like nowhere where you could put shampoo, but Bud didn't like it if you would leave the shampoo on the floor in there, because he was really cleanliness. He really wanted to keep everything clean, and everything had to look just right, because if it didn't, it would make him, he'd just get upset about it, and he'd stay in the room and draw skeletons all day, or he'd sew socks together. But so they were arguing about a shampoo bottle. I mean, it's pretty silly, honestly, but it gets even sillier than that. So, Bud walks into the shower, grabs the shampoo bottle, and it's empty at this rate. It's empty. It's an empty bottle. That's probably why he was upset about it, because why would you leave an empty shampoo bottle in the shower? So, he left the shampoo bottle in the shower. Bud goes in there, grabs it, and throws it underneath Clyde's bed. Right underneath it, there's a lot of space in there. We had little areas like this where we could put like our commissary and stuff like that. But Clyde did not like that. Clyde was like, don't throw that, garbage over here, and he's swearing at him and all that stuff. And Bud was like, well, what are you gonna do about it? So Clyde gets out of bed, goes over, grabs the empty shampoo bottle, throws it back underneath Bud's bed. So, and then that's whenever they were like face to face screaming at each other, And then Clyde was just like, "What are you gonna do? Hit me? Hit me then?" You know, pretty much like taunting Bud to hit him. And so who threw the first punch? I believe the first punch was thrown by Clyde. Clyde ends up rocking Bud right in his mouth, and Bud had real crooked teeth, probably from the drug use and stuff like that. So he had extremely crooked teeth, and he ended up cutting his lip right here. So what happened was, well, first they were wrestling on the ground, and then as they were wrestling on the ground, they got back up, and that's whenever Clyde hit him in his mouth, like just a full straight punch right to his mouth, split him open. You could pull his, like, he went like this. He looked at me and he pulled his lip back like this far, and you could just like see every whatever's in your tongue. You could see all of it. I mean, it was like so gruesome. So then he gets he's bleeding split right down the middle. I mean, horribly split. He ends up getting pushed into the wall, and then he, like, I don't know if he wipes his hand or something like that, trying to see, like, look at his hand, see what that is, and smears it on the wall. So I'm looking, I'm like freaking out. I'm like, whoa, this is intense, you know? So Clyde gets on top of Bud, and he's beating him up, whatever. And as a thing in prison or jail, you don't step in the fight if it's not your fight. If it's not your business, don't meddle. You know, don't be meddling around trying to figure out what's going on, because they got nothing to do with you. Now, if it gets out of control, obviously you want to do something about it, so no one gets murdered in the cell or something like that. So what I do is, first of all, there's blood on the wall, right? Smeared it on the wall. Now he's laying on the ground. He's leaking. I mean, there's piles of blood everywhere, and you can just, there's such a strong aroma of blood or whatever. So what I do is, because Clyde's on top of Bud, and just he beating him up bad. So I jump off my off my bunk. I'm on top bunk. I jump off my bunk. I grab Clyde off of Bud. I ripped him off, and I said, "This is enough. It's enough. It's enough." So I hold him up against the wall, and now I'm angry at this point because all I was trying to do was sleep, right? So I have him up against the wall, and I was about to take a swing at him, but instead of doing that, I didn't even do that. I said, "We're done. We're done. This is over. This is over." So Clyde gets back into bed. He's cool. He goes to sleep. So Bud's still there on the ground. I help him up or whatever, help him get cleaned up. Split down the middle horribly. So we have these little buttons with speakers in jail is what we had. So he ended up pushing the button and telling the guard that he slipped and fell by the toilet because the toilet's leaking. And the guards came in. They ended up taking him to the hospital, and how many stitches? I think they put like 9 or 12 stitches in his lip because his lip was just cut right down the middle. I mean, one of the craziest things I've seen besides the things I've seen while I was in prison. But that's pretty much the end of the story. The reason why I wanted to say this story is because people are so tense and angry in prison and jail about their situation and stuff like that they just don't understand that something so small, just like a empty shampoo bottle, something that could have been thrown in the trash, could become a horrible incident where someone gets taken to the hospital because he got his lip split open, right? So those are the kind of things, if you do ever get locked up or anything like that, just be aware that there are other people as well as you who have bad days, and anything could set them off, and it could be a life or death situation just like that. So that's all I wanted to talk about today. I want you guys to have a blessed day, and peace out.